Well, it's that day of the week again when we explore and appreciate green ideas and inventions. This is Going Green. Now, today we're talking about bananas and a disease that is quickly spreading, Fusarium wilt. What is Fusarium wilt? I'd like to know. And is there an all-organic cure for it? Well, there is. To tell us more about this, we have in the studio chemical engineer Gresilda Gigi Zaballero and researcher Ms. Thelma Flores. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning. This sounds like a serious threat we're facing here. Fusarium wilt. It sounds like a very deadly disease. Is it as serious as it sounds?
It is actually a serious and very destructive disease of bananas.
Okay.
Threatening the industry to be wiped out in just 3 years.
In 3 years. Wow, this is serious stuff. Okay, so
really serious.
This is I was trying to understand what we were talking about here. It's basically some sort of a fungus, is it?
Yeah. It is caused by a fungal pathogen, scientifically known as Fusarium oxysporum cubensi, or FOC in short.
Let's call it FOC because it sounds a lot easier. Let's call it FOC. So what exactly happens when this attacks banana plants?
The earlier symptoms is it has yellowing along the margins of the leaf, turning brown.
Okay.
And later, it will turn yellow, dark yellow, in the outer portions of the leaves, the older leaves. And when you dissect the plants, you can see a brown staining to maroon inside the
trunk of the banana tree or plant. We're seeing some images on screen of what the type of devastation that this disease does to the banana plantations. I mean, we're not just talking about problems with a food source. This will obviously affect economies. It will obviously affect the communities that rely on these plantations for their livelihood. Chain reaction of things. It's really more than just a little bit of a problem with plants because it affects all of us in very, very.
It has a big impact on the economy. It will lose jobs of about 300,000 people, and we lose the income out of this banana export.
Right, and the bananas. We don't want to lose the bananas. Right? We love the bananas.
Exactly.
Where did this disease come from?
Okay, that disease in 1960s wiped out the variety before planted is a Gros Michel. That time, the strain was only race 1. Later, it was seen on the local bananas, and it is race 2. The race 3 affected not the bananas, but the relatives of banana, the heliconia flowers. This time, it is race 4, the tropical race 4 strain. It is more virulent, very potent, because once it attacks, there's no treatment for that. We cannot replant the lost plant, the infected side, because the fungus will thrive for so long, maybe about 20 years.
It's kind of like hepatitis, isn't it? I mean, there are many strains of hepatitis, but this particular strain, it attacks the plant and it stays there.
Yeah,
it's soil-borne, so that's the problem. Okay, now usually when you talk about solutions to problems like this, generally in the past we've looked at highly toxic chemical solutions, which usually old thought used to be the more potent the chemical, the better it would be because it would wipe out these problems. But of course, over the years we've learned that it really does spawn a set of problems of its own. Usually we're left with problems bigger than the problems we were trying to solve in the first place. And now that people are much more interested in eco-friendly and environmentally sound solutions, going chemical isn't always the best solution. In this particular case, people have actually looked at ways to address this serious problem in a non-chemical way.
It's like going back to basic, going back to using what was given by God. For this particular case, we have developed a solution. It's an enzyme-based extracted from tropical fruit. It's extracted specifically from papaya, the enzymes of papaya. And this is basically used to treat these diseases, these plant diseases.
Okay. The disease, I was just jumping back here, the disease only affects bananas, or is it also crossing over into other things? Is there a danger of it crossing over into other?
Only the bananas, the giant
For now,
Cavendish
diba?
varieties,
Okay.
and the other local varieties. The danger is if it will cross
can,
over
mutate
to other
and cross over,
important
become,
agricultural crops.
So you need to address this problem, and we were already starting the discussion on a great way that you guys have actually looked into solving the problem or addressing the problem in a non-toxic chemical way. And you're using
tropical fruits, banana,
extracts from papaya. Okay.
Right. Filipino tropical fruit papaya specifically, and then. The reason behind why we opted to inform the public of this is because of the threat. And when Ma'am Thelma said a while ago, there was basically no proven cure yet. So since this is a safe alternative, we are trying to tell everyone that if they would want to try it, since there's no danger, although our studies indicate it to be promising, Ma'am, and at the same time, you see, it's really going to improve or to control the disease, as what the study indicates.
Okay, and the great thing about this is it was invented or developed right here in the Philippines.
Yes, sir.
I mean, this is something that we can share with everybody, because the disease doesn't just affect us. I mean, obviously there are other countries perhaps that will benefit.
Indonesia and Malaysia, their plantations were wiped out because of this.
Because of this disease, and this is something that we developed right here, and it's something that we can be proud of, isn't it?
Yeah, what we're also afraid of is that if, like, for example, the studies finishes actually in a year's time, the Fusarium is already spreading out very quickly.
Okay.
And hopefully it will not happen, that it will actually eradicate the whole banana industry.
How does it actually work? How does it cure or address this fungus?
Yeah, it's a lactic acid bacteria based.
Okay.
So the single mode of action is that it eventually the cell wall of the microorganism is depleted.
You ladies are using such big words here. It's really, wow, you guys are smart. All right, so it's a lactic acid based
solution.
Okay.
So what lactic acid bacteria does, the basic principle, is the bad bacteria and the good bacteria fighting with each other. So it's a pathogen or the fungus that's infecting the plant, and we're trying to add on a lactic acid bacteria.
There you go. That's simpler. Good bacteria, bad bacteria fighting each other. You want the good bacteria to win. Okay. All right. And is this a solution? Because more and more people are really looking for organic solutions. I mean, this is sort of a sign of the times. People are looking for produce that does not contain pesticides or dangerous chemicals. Is this sort of a solution that can possibly be used for every other type of pests or disease? Does it address any of those other problems?
Specifically, it addresses the fungus, so it's a fungicide.
Okay.
It also is a bactericide and a viricide. But the insects, like the other pests, the spiders or the others, is not damaged by this kind of chemical.
Okay.
So it actually is friendly to the other
friendly to the
non-target organism.
To the bugs, but is it friendly to the people? I mean, how is it very friendly
to the human beings. Unlike the toxic chemicals, they have some effects on their...
Actually, yeah, let me add on. Based on the study, we have a toxicity test. It actually indicates that an average, for example, human being can drink up to 8 liters of this without being intoxicated.
Okay.
So you don't normally drink 8 liters, even water.
So it's definitely safe.
Yes.
We know that for sure.
Safe.
Now the product is called Antica, all right? And Antica was actually was it cited by the DOST for
It's being approved for commercial use. It's being approved by the Fertilizer and Pesticides Authority for use in the banana.
Okay, so good news. We're facing a serious problem with this fungus, but a great new product, completely organic, non-toxic. To people and non-target organisms. So great news, because it's a great answer to this problem, which could seriously damage these banana plantations and eventually our economy and such. So good news, good developments. Thank you for sharing all of that with us, ladies, this morning. Thank you.
My pleasure, sir.
All right, folks, do you have the next great green idea, or do you have any out of this world plan to save the planet? Well, Let us know and tell us what you're doing to help save the environment. Send in your pictures and thoughts to ancgoinggreen@gmail.com and get a chance to be featured right here where we are going green.